Good evening. Welcome into a special Sunday night edition of the State of the Tigers, brought to you by James Carlton, State Farm Insurance. If you are joining us on YouTube, first of all, like, comment, subscribe, share, do all those things. Second of all, the James Carlton web address is right there in front of you on YouTube, carltoninsurance.net. You can get a hold of James at 314-961-4800 on the phone. If you want to talk to James about all your insurance needs, talk to him a little bit about a red-hot Missouri football team, and ask him how you can help out with his efforts to help Mizzou's NIL. We will run James's information across the bottom of the screen throughout most of the show. Again, if you are watching on YouTube, if you're on the podcast, carltoninsurance.net, 314-961-4800. I am Gabe DeArmond, publisher and host of this fine program. We bring in Jarod Hamilton to the show now, about 24 hours removed from Jarod. I was going to start out asking you if that was the best football game you'd seen Missouri play, but I know the answer because I think it might be the best football game I've seen Missouri play. That was I didn't see that coming in that way.
Yeah. Somebody asked me on Twitter after the game, was that the best game of Drink's tenure? I think so. I mean, unless I'm missing something, obviously you would know, but off the top of my head, I'm thinking like you beat another top 15 team from start to finish. There wasn't a play. I mean, well, of course, Tennessee had a player, here or there, but there wasn't a sustained amount of time that I even thought this game was close at all, ever. And so offense, defense, special teams, everybody played well. Even the couple mistakes like KAD, like that 46-yard touchdown pass from Joe Milton to Dante Thompson, that was great coverage by KAD. Like Milton dropped it in the only place his guy could get it. So that's not even something. And then he forced a fumble. They credited it to Newsom. If you look at the replay, it was actually KAD who comes in with the second blow that caused the forced fumble. So he got it back. They had 17 points from those takeaways that they made out of it. And then the bad pick from Cook, it was bad. They said it was tipped. I didn't see that from the press box. That's what they said on the TV, though.
Yeah, the TV showed it was tipped. The TV also, Gary Danielson pointed out that Luther Burden ran a fairly lackadaisical route that led to him not being in the spot Brady wanted to throw the ball to. So those are the types of things that go into where you place blame and all that. But there was literally about 3 seconds where I thought or 3 minutes where I thought, hey, this seems like it might be a close game. When Tennessee scored to go up 7-3, then you thought, okay, well, let's see Missouri's answer, because to that point, Missouri had thoroughly outplayed them. But with the interception and all that, Tennessee had basically made one play. Well, then Missouri just goes right back down the field and scores and takes the 10-7 lead. And what you're realizing is, hang on, Missouri's had the ball 3 times, and they have just immediately gone down. Like, Tennessee has no answer for what they're doing offensively. And it turned out Tennessee didn't have an answer for what they were doing defensively either. So, like, your opinion, what was more impressive, 530 yards and record-setting day from Cody Schrader, or what Missouri did to Tennessee's third-ranked rushing game?
Wait, what was bigger, the 530 yards of offense?
What was more impressive, the offense and Cody Schrader, or what Missouri did defensively against Tennessee?
Okay, I got you. For right now, it's Cody Schrader. It has to be. I mean, if you see a game that you've never seen, that no one in life has seen, then that is the thing. Now, long term, I would say the defense, because you feel good about that. You're like, all right, our defense can hang with they hung with Georgia. We joked about this earlier. Linebackers coach DJ Smith, he tweeted something. It was like, they said Mizzou couldn't stop the run. And I texted you and said, stop the run versus Georgia.
Nobody said that.
Yeah, no one said that. So it must have been Tennessee people he was talking about. Maybe those fans said they can't stop us or whatever. But no, I'd probably long-term say the defense. But Cody Schrader's day, that's one of the best games I've seen of football in my life, live. It was crazy.
I mean, every time you looked up, there was a 30-yard run, or I mean, he had 2 catches for 83 yards, like 8 minutes into the game. It was wild. Tennessee had absolutely no answer on either side. Honestly, it was like watching Tennessee, Missouri the last 2 years, except the other team
Absolutely.
ass beating.
Oh yeah, yeah. Drink had his foot up Heupel's tail. I say that they did everything right.
Well, and there's a comment here, and here I'll find it. It's from Matt Carroll. Drink icing the kicker up 30 was one of my favorite Mizzou football moments in a long time. Like, look, I'm here for all the petty stuff, and I want to be clear. I didn't have any problem with Josh Heupel scoring to go up 66-24 last year. Whatever. You want to be better, stop them. Like, it didn't bother me. It clearly bothered Missouri, and they came into this one with the idea, hey, if we have a chance to rub it in a little bit, we're probably going to go ahead and do that. And I'm here for all that.
I mean, it seems like it is petty, but 7 to 10 points are different when you look at a score sheet. And the fact that Heupel had never scored lower than 14 since he's been there. Tennessee hasn't scored in less than double digits since 2020, I think I wrote. That's huge. So yeah, when you can return a beating, not exactly the same size as the last couple, but just as good. I mean, yeah, rub it in for sure.
And I'm kind of disappointed now that these teams won't play next year, because there's clearly, like, look, the head coaches clearly don't love each other. There was a moment where Drinkwitz and DJ Smith were out on, and Curtis Looper were out on the field, kind of pulling guys away because Brady got knocked over on the last kneel down.
Yeah.
Like, they don't like each other a lot, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, I feel like we talk about this as far as just like, sports and stuff. It's so soft nowadays. There's a participation award. There is no rivalries. Everybody friendly, which is cool. I'm not saying people can't be friends, but I don't know. I don't see enough button heads. And sometimes that's cool. Sometimes that's cool to see that you don't have to like everyone or pretend to like everyone. That's cool.
Yeah. So Missouri gets the just, I mean, impressive in every way, 36-7 win. Combined with what happened earlier in the day, the SEC title game is now set. It's Alabama and Georgia in Atlanta. But I mean, this one was big for Missouri, because now I feel like we've gone from 10-2 is the goal to now 10-2 is the expectation.
Absolutely. And it should be. Florida is terrible. I try to tell y'all, we've told y'all this from the jump. They're terrible. They're terrible. And if you lose to Arkansas, oh man, I don't know what to do. So you shouldn't. That's the case. You shouldn't lose to either one of those. This was the game of the season pretty much, and they killed it. So they can't have any letdowns if they want to get into a cool bowl game. They gotta still bring this effort to the next 2 games, but they shouldn't lose.
Right. I mean, I think the floor is 9-3 in the Citrus Bowl. I mean, like, I don't.
You think they can be 9-3 and get into the Citrus? I'm asking.
I think so.
Really know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they could in that instance. Maybe LSU goes to the Citrus Bowl and slip to the ReliaQuest Bowl, I guess. But look, I think they're going to be 10-2, and at 10-2, the floor is absolutely the Citrus Bowl. We'll talk about bowl stuff here in a minute. I want to address this real quick one time. Saturday night felt empty because there was no post-game show. So I've had a bunch of people asking, look, guys, I had something going on. Drew and Jarod covered the game. We had 4 people at the game. I knew post-game show wasn't in the cards last night. I said that early on in the morning. It was one game. It was one post-game show. We're back. We got a show tonight. We're going to do a show on probably Wednesday, previewing Florida. I'm going to do a show with Drew King on Thursday for Minneapolis, talking basketball. Going to do a show next Saturday. So we're here. Don't worry. We'll hang out on YouTube with people that like to hang out on YouTube. Freeway Jarod, one of those, got 5 on the Vol Pack. I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
That's what people say. He's smoking that Vol Pack. Remember when Drew
put
that cigar? He's smoking a Vol Pack, and I like It's because I have to be a journalist. I have to type on stand on business. But what Drink really meant was he's standing on business. If you know, you know. He's standing on business. He's standing on business. That's what it was. This week.
Okay. It's a good thing I have somebody young to translate stuff. I don't know what the hell's going on half the time. But all right. So let's talk postseason. First of all, let's talk about what happened yesterday that was good for Missouri. I mean, the top 8 teams all won. They're all going to stay the same. They might flip. Like, I still believe Georgia should be 1 and Ohio State should be 3, but whatever. I don't really care about what order they have them in. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, Washington, Oregon, Texas, Alabama. There's your top 8 teams. Mm-hmm. The AP poll and the coaches poll came out today. Louisville 9, Oregon State 10, Missouri 11, Penn State 12. So that's your next grouping of teams. Look, I think let's just go team by team. Missouri or Louisville? Who do you think's better?
Missouri.
Yeah, I think Missouri's significantly better. Louisville has 1 loss. It is a horrible loss to 2-8 Pittsburgh. That said, polls and rankings tend to say how many games have you lost. They don't really care who you play. That's why Louisville is where it is. Louisville's at Miami on Saturday. I actually think they're going to lose that game. Whatever. They've got that. They've got Kentucky left. The bowl picture, the New Year's 6 stuff, Louisville actually doesn't impact Missouri much. We'll get to that in a minute. Number 10, Oregon State, 8-2. Oregon State, Missouri. Who do you think's a better team?
Missouri.
I think Missouri is. I think it's closer. I think
it's closer than the Louisville one, but
yeah,
and that's also a game that if you told me they played and Oregon State won, it wouldn't be a shock though to me. Right. I think it'd be a little bit more of a shock if Louisville played Missouri. Louisville won. Yeah, to me.
Yeah, I mean, Oregon State is 8-2. They lost to Washington State when Washington State was a grown-up team that used to win football games. They're not anymore. Yeah. They beat Utah when Utah was 10th. They beat UCLA when UCLA wasn't on their 9th-string quarterback. They lost to Arizona. But their last 2 games, here's why Oregon State doesn't matter to Missouri. Their last 2 games are Oregon and Washington. I mean, if they win both those games, cool. They're clearly better than you and should be above you. And if they lose one of those games, they're going to fall below you.
Yeah. So, I mean, would you say 10? They're at 10? Yeah.
Oregon State's 10. Yeah.
Okay.
So then Missouri's at 11. So basically, all it takes, Oregon State loses, and these are not the CFP rankings. Those come out tomorrow night. I think Missouri will be 11 in those 2. But so if Oregon State loses once in the next 2 weeks and Missouri doesn't, Missouri is going to be no worse than 10th in the CFP rankings. I think that is a virtual guarantee you are in one of the New Year's 6 bowls, which this year means peach, fiesta, cotton, or orange. There are a bunch of different rules. Like we were talking, our pre-show meeting consisted of us trying to figure out the New Year's 6 bowls and how the teams get in. And it's very difficult. The top 4 teams are going to the Sugar and Rose this year in the semifinals. Then every Power 5 champion is guaranteed a spot. So, like if Iowa screws things up and wins the Big Ten, then that rearranges who's going to get in. Then that's going to put Ohio State in, or the Ohio State Michigan loser in. The Big Ten team is going to get 3 teams in, and that's going to knock somebody down. So ultimately, none of this matters until after the conference title games are played. But Jarod, where do you want to spend the first week in January? Phoenix, Dallas, Atlanta, or Orlando for the Citrus Bowl, or Tampa, wherever the Citrus Bowl is.
Don't want to go to Florida, just because I was there last year. I mean, yeah. And I liked Florida. When I was there for the Gasparilla Bowl, I was like, I like this life.
Tampa's a good town, man.
Yeah. Phoenix is actually it's like high up on the list of cities I want to visit. Dallas, though, Dallas just seems cool. Jerry World, I've seen the videos. I know it's crazy. So it's either one of those 2, but I'm going to say Fiesta Bowl just because, I don't know, that's a little bit different. That's something I haven't been to.
See, you always got to root for the most expensive option, man. Fiesta Bowl down here. Down here.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm cool with any of them. I'm cool with any of them. But if I had to money wasn't an option, Gabe.
I got you.
Had to be one.
I got you. Somebody was asking, I can't find the comment now, but somebody was asking who's the dream bowl opponent. So if you just look at a bowl game, and whatever bowl game, but you look at kind of this pool of teams that's probably in the New Year's Six, but not necessarily in the playoff, what's the matchup you'd be like, yeah, that's what I want to see?
Let me look real quick. Now, do I need to put in place all these rules of they can play this team, that team? Because I'm going to mess it up.
Just pick the team that's going to be in the New Year's Six, probably that you would most want to see them play.
There's a couple. Wouldn't mind them playing Texas. I wouldn't mind seeing them play Penn State. Although I don't remember Penn State. I know they lost. I didn't see the score. What was the score there? Was it bad?
It was 24-15, but realistically, it was 24-2 because Penn State.
Okay. I didn't know
Penn State fired its offensive coordinator today.
Yeah, I know that part, but I know they was okay.
I mean,
and also
they had 51 yards passing until the last drive of the game.
Now, Kansas is. I don't think they're New Year's Six.
They got beat yesterday. Yeah, they're not. They have.
Then never mind. I was about to say that would have just would have been cool just to be cool, but yeah. What would I say? Texas, Penn State, Texas probably be it though.
Yeah, I would be intrigued. If Florida State somehow didn't get in the playoff.
I didn't know we could move those out of it. That'd be cool too.
Yeah, you can. I thought anything. There are no rules here, man. You do whatever the hell you want.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Florida State, I don't know, randomly, I feel like that's a team, like, if I'm getting ready for an afternoon or night Missouri game, it just seems like that's the team that's on. So if I've watched, and I don't really be paying attention, but if I've watched any team, the most outside of Missouri, it's probably been Florida State. They got a good team. They've got a good team.
Yeah,
I like them.
I think Florida State would be fun. Look, I'd be okay with the Pac-12 loser, Washington or Oregon, whichever one it isn't. That'd be fun.
That Oregon one, that'd be hard. They're a beast.
Washington, Mizzou, the over-under would be 90, but I think Washington, anybody, the over-under is going to be 90.
If I would have known about the top, I wasn't really thinking so much Washington because I feel like they're undefeated. They're still circling around that top four. If I would have thought about that, I would have put Washington as my number one. I'd love to see and we was talking about this last week, Cook versus Michael Penix Jr. Like that's big time football.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be a lot of fun. Want to invite you guys. I know there's a lot of comments. Keep throwing those in there. And we'll get to comments and questions kind of as we wrap up. But so the basic thing, I mean, the first thing Missouri has to do is they have to go win 2 games. Win 2 games. And I think odds are you are probably in one of those New Year's Six access bowls. You win 2 games. The worst that can happen to you is the Citrus Bowl against Florida or against probably Penn State. And that's a pretty damn good worst case scenario. Yeah.
I mean, well, if that's a realistic option. I just said that a moment ago. That's a realistic option. Yeah, that'd be a interesting game to say the least. But like, it'd be cool to see them play a big time team from another conference. Right. Honestly,
I like what I want in a bowl game is just matchups that like don't happen a lot, right? I mean,
right.
I've seen Texas in the Cotton Bowl would be okay, but I've seen a lot of Mizzou Texas games. I saw a Mizzou Texas bowl game in Texas 5 years ago, something like that. So it'd be okay. But that's why I kind of want Penn State, Washington, something that I just haven't seen before. I think that'd be cool.
For sure. Now, obviously, I haven't seen Missouri versus Texas. That's very new to me. So, right. But yeah, I get why that's not high up on the list. But yeah, game versus somebody. What if it was Iowa though? What if they happen to face in Iowa?
Well, I mean, that would mean I would have to watch Iowa play football, and that's not a thing that really intrigues me at this point in my life.
Yeah.
But it would be okay. I mean, it'd be interesting. I think Missouri would be favored by quite a bit in that game.
Right.
I think it would be. I
It'd be a route to me. It'd be a
Iowa.
route.
Iowa.
Just gotta shake your head. Iowa.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be rough. I got some good friends that cover Iowa, though. That'd be okay. So, I mean, that's where we're at. But key is obviously, hey, you got to go win two. Have you seen a line for Florida yet?
Have I said that?
Have you seen the line for the Florida game
Oh,
yet?
oh no, I haven't.
Neither have I. Like, let's take a guess. What do you think it is? I'm going to look it up while we're
What
talking.
it should be
What would you think the line would be?
I think the line is probably like -6.5 Missouri. I think it should probably be closer to like -8.5, 9.5. And that's probably still being generous. They're not good to me.
I was gonna say I think it's 9.5. So let's see. I'm rolling through. I got to get down. Well, first of all, I'm in the wrong week, so that's an issue. I'm looking at.
There's some in the chat saying, "Oh, I thought I saw someone say it was -10.5 Mizzou." Maybe from, or maybe I don't know if you guys are guessing. I don't know if you guys guessing too.
A lot of these lines don't appear to be out yet. I don't know. The site I'm looking on doesn't have a line. I would say 9.5. That's where I would set it.
Yeah,
because Florida, man. I mean, I don't think they're very good. I think you've been right about them all year long.
There's only one person on the team that I'm like, I like him. That's Etienne. After that,
yeah, he's good.
Nothing burger. Yeah. And when we was at Georgia and they lost that Arkansas game, I just looked at you, shook my head.
Yeah, losing to Arkansas ain't great. So
man.
Well, and this is like I'm already telling you all the stories that will be written about Florida this week is how motivated they're going to be because they need another win to get to a bowl game. How motivated do you think Florida players are to play in the Duke's Mayo Bowl?
That'd be good for them, to be honest. But the only reason I can say this game would be the biggest is because I'm pretty sure they see Florida State the week after, and we already know what that is going to be like. So this is their best chance. It's not a great chance, but it's better than facing Florida State. So. They might as well put everything into it just for the simple fact of like it's now or never.
Yeah. Bottom line, Florida has to beat a top 10 team to get to 6-6 and go hang out in Charlotte for a couple days or Birmingham.
Hey, now my hometown decent now, Gabe. Let's not do too much.
It is not a knock on
but
Charlotte.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl, I get that.
Right. Anybody that says I'm going to Charlotte does not say I'm going to Charlotte because I got to see that Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't seeing the Duke's Mayo Bowl. So
yeah,
I get it.
All right, so let's transition into. I didn't bring this up beforehand, but we got a couple of lines of questioning. First of all, the coaching carousel has begun. Jarod, if I called you tomorrow morning and I said I'm gonna give you $77 million to not write another article for Power Mizzou, would you then go get another writing job, or would you just be like, I'm good, man, I'm done working for the rest of my life?
Wow. First off, Gabe,
I don't have that. That's not on the table, but I'm just saying.
Nah. I'm just saying. First off, it'd take hey, Gabe, you don't even got to make it 77. We can get that price down a lot lower.
We can just go. We just need 1.7. Just give me $7 million. I'm good. I'll walk away.
Yeah, that's and if you've seen like somebody put out, I don't know if it was Dellinger or somebody, but they put out the contract details, and basically, even if he gets a new job, like they still owe him. That is it. I need whoever his agent, lawyer, whoever is on his team.
Yeah.
I need to work my way up in life to just be able to hire someone so they can finesse me a deal like that.
Well, and the funniest thing was I saw a tweet that Ross Bjork, the AD, was saying, well, we don't owe him all that right away. We only owe him $25 million next month. I mean, come on, man.
This is what I don't do.
Football coach is the best job in America.
I don't get this, though. I know they're swimming in money and all that stuff, but can you really just burn money like this? Like, there's got to be some point. There's got to be some point where you're like, all right, 76, 77 million to this person. we can't just hire someone and then after a couple of years, even though we're still paying the buyout for Jimbo, we fire. It's like there's got to be something where there's just like, all right, we got to chill for just a second, right?
I don't know, man. A&M hasn't won a national title in 85 years, but you'd never know it the way they think about themselves. So we'll see.
That's for sure. I know the oil game popping, but goodness gracious, there ain't no way. There's no way.
So I got into that just because we've got a question here from Todd Alexander. Should the fan base be concerned about Drinkwitz leaving for another school? So let me say, first of all, you should not be concerned about Eli Drinkwitz leaving for Texas A&M. Texas A&M ain't hiring Eli. His agent is Jimmy Sexton. I have been around this long enough to know that when Eli wins 10 or 11 games this year, I'm sure Jimmy will get his name mentioned a couple places. I'm sure it will be out there. It is possible that they will go to Desiree Reed-Francois and say, hey, I need another $10 or whatever. If you had asked me this question a year ago, I would have said, yeah, I think Drinkwitz will look. Had they gone 10-2 last year, I think he'd have looked, and I think he might have left. I think in the last 12 months, a lot has changed. Missouri has passed this NIL law. Money's flowing around there, guys. I know some of you don't believe me, but it is. They're in good shape NIL-wise. This new master facilities plan is going to be unveiled Thursday. Like, he's literally gotten everything he wants, and now he is 10-2. He is going to be number 10 or 11 in the country, and he probably knows somewhere deep down, if we hadn't had a weird snap penalty against LSU, we are legitimately talking about being in the college football playoff. So my point is, and next year it's going to 12. My point is, everything he wants to go chase is actually realistic for him to chase here now. And I'm not sure anybody, including him, would have believed that 12 months ago, but the proof is in this season.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes and this isn't just for Drink, this is people in life. Like, even if someone offers you more money, situation, and where you're at in your life, that matters. Like, someone can offer you, and I'm not saying that's easy to millions. I'm not saying that it's easy to turn down, but to kind of rebuild all that stuff, he's been working 3-4 years to get this up to where it is. And to me, when you think about it, they were expected to lose versus LSU. They were expected to lose versus Georgia. We thought they were going 7-5. To be honest, their biggest loss, I know they're not going to say this. Maybe Ryan Wingo for a couple of months or whatever, like if that changes because of that whole fiasco. But if that's his biggest loss and something like where he thought he had it and he didn't, what to leave for what, to be honest.
And I would also say, look, if some job pops open and he can't turn it down, like, he's just going to leave anyway. It's not, it's not lack of commitment or money or anything. I mean, if there's some job out there that pops up and he takes it, and then all of a sudden we go, oh, well, I didn't know that one would be one that would. But look, the bigger question, I think, and somebody had asked it, I can't find it in the comments anymore. This is why we generally have Alex doing the postgame shows when we get a lot of comments. But the bigger question, what about Blake Baker and Kirby Moore?
Yeah, Kirby Moore.
I think Blake Baker's going to be getting calls.
Yeah, Kirby Moore, not yet. I was asked a few weeks ago on the radio.
You think?
I think he will be getting calls, but I don't think he will. I don't think it's much more likely that Blake leaves than Kirby is what I mean, basically. Blake, year 2, they're just as good as they were last year, if not better in some regards. They had a weird stretch where there was just some things going on, and even then they were still winning games. It was just like more complimentary football and all that stuff Drink is talking about. It wasn't like they were blowing up the joint. So yeah, he's gonna probably get the call soon. And yeah, I wonder what Drink does in that case. I wonder how that goes.
Yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole. But like with Blake, I mean, look, guys, LSU is going to be looking for a defensive coordinator at the end of this season. I mean, almost certainly. So you've got that out there. But also what this coaching carousel does is, depending on who A&M hires or who Boise State hires, then there might be a group of 5 job open. head coaching job, right? And that's when it starts to trickle down. Like, if there's a group of 5 job that opens in the Southeast, like, if I'm putting together a list, Blake Baker's on my list, man. He's a guy I'm talking to for my head coaching job.
For sure. I mean, think about it. Like, for how long was it the defense carrying them? Even the first couple of games of this year, we were kind of just like, I don't know. And they were still able to do that. And in some of these games where they're able to put up a lot of points, the defense is still being able to hold down teams, or at least keep them in the game, like they did versus Georgia. Like yesterday, they destroyed Tennessee.
And I think people forget what Blake took over. Like, as literally 2/3 of the way through the season before, Missouri had the worst Power 5 defense in America.
Abysmal.
I mean, they were
nasty,
awful. So, so he's done a hell of a job here. And look, I'm not trying to. The times I've gotten to talk to Blake, I like him. He's done a good job here. In no way am I pushing him out the door. But this is what you want as a head coach. You want your because you know who doesn't get hired? The coordinators of 6-6 teams. Those dudes don't get better jobs. If your assistants, if your coordinators are getting better opportunities, that means you've done well. And then it is the head coach's job to go out and find the next guy. Like, if Blake Baker gets a job, I would be very surprised if DJ Smith isn't Missouri's defensive coordinator, honestly. Don't you think that's where to go? I think he'd get the
him or Pogue.
Yeah, I would lean DJ.
No. I get it, but I mean, Pogue did just get the promotion earlier this year to whatever. Yeah. I forgot the title.
But I think that would probably be an internal thing.
Yeah. Also, something,
go hire a new linebackers coach or whatever.
Yeah, it's also something. It's kind of just like you start winning more games. Your assistants, obviously, they start getting the looks and stuff like that. It's kind of like the same thing with high school and recruiting. You start winning more games. Even if you lose coaches, you're going to have better coaches want to be like, I want to look at this job. I'll take a step down, possibly. I forgot what was the coach. There was a coach that was at Akron or something who left to go play, coach at Colorado or something.
Kent State, yeah. And Deion just demoted him last week.
Well, not that bad, not that bad of a situation, but you get what I'm saying. Kind of like leaving whatever job title. If I got to go to be the linebackers coach at Missouri, who's winning and stuff like that, and then get back out there, they'll do that. So it kind of still goes hand in hand.
Yeah, and Stuart West pointing out, and I agree. Baker had a nice plan for Tennessee yesterday. It was basically, we'll give you this little short stuff, and we think you'll eventually screw up. And Tennessee usually did. It was stop the run, and we don't trust Joe Milton to be accurate enough, or these guys to break enough tackles to move the ball down the field, and they didn't. Let's see. I'm going to start rolling through these some of these comments and questions if I can. Here's another coaching thing. Sam Pittman gets canned after the loss to Mizzou. I would put that now at more likely than not. I think there's a pretty decent chance Arkansas is looking for a head coach in about 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, getting beat down on Black Friday at the crib is not. That's not what you really want to do. Is it possible that? Is that enough? To keep him? I know that Missouri will be a big win and a rivalry win, but do you think that's enough?
Oh, you mean would that be enough to save him? I mean. So here's their last 7 games. Lost 38-31 to BYU. Last 8 games. Lost 34-31 to LSU. Lost 34-22 to A&M. Lost 27-20 to Ole Miss. Lost 24-21 to Alabama. Lost 7-3 to Mississippi State. Beat Florida somehow 39-36. And then lost 48-10 to Auburn yesterday.
First off, I heard a good. There was a good amount of close games in there, though. That
Oh yeah, there were a lot of close games. Like, the one thing I think he had going for him was they haven't quit. They're playing hard.
And then you see Auburn.
That might have gone away yesterday.
Yeah, you see Auburn, and I don't know. I don't know if a win. It'd have to be a pretty convincing destruction of Missouri, I think, to keep it. To me, I don't know.
I would enjoy though the irony of Sam Pittman going into that game 4-7, and the win that would save his job would be the team that all Arkansas fans and media insist they never think about and should not be in the SEC. But it would be a good enough win to save Sam's job. That'd be enjoyable to me.
Who do they play before that? What's the game before or this week?
FIU. So
to be honest, I don't know if FIU is good or not, but
I don't know.
It just sounds like a game they could lose. FIU could be terrible. I don't know. It just sounds like if you told me Arkansas lost to FIU, I'd be like, I believe it.
Yeah, no question.
That's how bad it is.
This is my favorite thing about coaching searches. The very first thing a college football fan says when somebody gets fired is, are there any recruits we can get from that team? I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know who's committed to Texas A&M. We'll look at some point if we need to. But I just love that that's always like the instant first reaction. Let's see. A lot of people wanting bowl games. I see a lot of Washington, a lot of Michigan. Let's see. Jason says ESPN has Mizzou by 11 against Florida. That's a little higher than I would have.
I was about to say that's in slight reach, but it's also still in believable territory for me. So it's probably on the higher end of the or further end of the spectrum I'd put them on, but I don't hate it.
For sure. Jarod wants me to get a call from Jimmy Sexton saying he's your new agent. So if that happens, cool. Negotiations are going to break down if that happens, man.
All I can say, well, here's the thing, though, Freeway Jarod. While I'd love for Jimmy Sexton to say he's representing me now, I don't know if I got Jimmy Sexton money right now.
No offense. I don't think Jimmy trying to hunt you down.
Yeah, Jimmy ain't peeping me yet, guys. Yet.
Yeah. All right. Kevin Larson, would Arkansas be a threat to steal Drinkwitz? As dumb as that sounds, he's from the look. He turned down Arkansas 4 years ago. I don't think he's taking that job now. I mean, he's
also even if. Go ahead. My bad.
I was just going to say, and it's kind of what you said. I don't think you spend this much time and energy building something up to just leave it as soon as it gets built.
This applies to so many things in life. Yeah, you don't build something up and leave it for the next person to enjoy the benefits of your work. That's not how most people are. Unless what you're going to is a step up. But there's not many steps up because those jobs have good coaches. So there's no reason to do that. Even if you're from whatever state it is, considering that Arkansas is their school rival, I think there's also part of Drink that probably is like, I want to beat them up now. I don't want to really join them, at least in this moment.
I think you don't – I'm not sure people understand how much energy and effort and like exhaustion goes into what Drinkwitz has done with this thing the last 4 years. And it's not just Missouri, it's everywhere. Everywhere you've got to build that up. Like it takes so much time and energy that, sure, if Jim Harbaugh goes to the NFL and Michigan calls Eli Drinkwitz, do I think he would go? I think he probably would, yes. Because you're walking into a ready-made playoff team. But you don't you don't rebuild your entire house and then go, hey, let's go find the next neighborhood that got hit by a tornado and do that. No, you want to live in that nice house for a little bit before you go take on another rebuild.
Yeah.
It's why coaches don't go Power 5 to Power 5 very often.
Correct.
Let's see. A lot of coaching search talk, Arkansas and Florida, which is not really where
I see one that I want. So someone says Jarod doesn't know the history of losing coaches to Arkansas. So this is a thing.
There's one. Yes, they've lost one coach to Arkansas.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. They've lost to Frank Broyles in like 1958 went to Arkansas. So if we holding on to stuff for 65 years, then yes, there are two.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
And yes, our subscribers and viewers hold on to things for 65 years. I can 100% guarantee you that.
I feel like some hold on longer than 65 years. That's a good one. Royals and what's his name?
Mike Anderson is the other one they're talking about.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else.
I don't know anybody else they've lost to Arkansas. I mean, Barry Odom went to be their defensive coordinator, but
okay. He was who I was thinking, but I was thinking I don't remember him being the head coach.
Yeah, right. Well, and I mean, you're not losing guys to Arkansas when you fired those guys. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Buddy needed a job, man. That's what that was. He's trying to get paid. So
yeah.
College football playoff rankings out tomorrow. No, Tuesday. I was thinking this is Monday because
I was thinking it was Monday. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Just for clarification, P. Richards is 100% still angry about Frank Boros going to Arkansas in 1958. So, I mean, I don't know, man. We got to get like talk therapy or whatever that is to sponsor this podcast. And this is 1958, my guy. So, anyway, college football playoff rankings out on Tuesday night. Let's kind of wrap up with this. There's no chance. I don't see a chance that any of that stuff has any impact. Like this team doesn't have a letdown next week. Do you think?
I'm not subscribing to that at all. I don't know. I've seen the tape. We're this far into the season. You're coming off your best win of the season. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not, but I don't know. Maybe this is me being the outsider, bringing in some good energy. I don't have any built up like, there's a letdown coming on that some other folks may be thinking. I think they should be all right.
Because here is the thing about this team. They've played 10 games. They have either won or played pretty well. Like, I don't think there's been a day where they haven't shown up or had a letdown. Like, yeah, I'll listen to they didn't play all that well against Middle Tennessee, but they won the game, so I don't care. Right. Like, if they've had a letdown or had an off day, it hasn't burned them. So, to this point, I don't see much reason to expect that. It doesn't guarantee they're going to win, but I don't really expect a letdown. This team has kind of shown me that they seem to be a little bit better than that.
Better. And I see people saying trap game. I understand what that means, but the problem with, at least with this team, every time we talk to them after a win, after a loss, you legitimately see it on Tuesday. It's in the past for them. They don't hold on to it. And that, I will say, if anything, Drake is really good at telling them to have a short memory, win or lose. So it can only be a trap game if you're not paying attention, if you're not focused, if you thinking too far ahead, or looking in the rearview mirror.
And I thought it was a little weird after the Georgia game how many people thought, well, are they still going to play hard because they can't win the East? I mean, that line of questioning just didn't really make any sense to me. Tennessee was coming in here.
Yeah, and even if Tennessee was 5-5 or whatever coming into the game, if that was the case, they still destroyed you twice in a row. So they would want their lick back for that game, independent of the SEC East and all this other stuff going on. So yes, they'll play hard going forward.
This seems like a kind of a good place to kind of end this. Mike points out Tennessee state champs. Mizzou is now 4-0 against teams from Tennessee this year.
Yeah. Well, let's think about it.
It's Vanderbilt, Memphis, Middle Tennessee, and Tennessee, right?
Yeah. So is MTSU the best comp from Tennessee? I don't know. Gabe, I got positive thoughts of that game. I'm gonna forever have positive. I'm gonna forever have positive thoughts. What's it? The Blue Raiders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Missouri basketball could have made it 5-0 against Tennessee on Friday night. That didn't quite happen, but we're trying. Hey, this has been a positive, happy show, so we're staying.
I do got a question for you, Gabe, before we get off. So, what, if any, New Year's Six Bowl would there be for you to come along? Is there one where you're like, I'd go to that?
See the matchups.
Okay, so it's more about matchups than the location, the bowl, and stuff for you.
Yeah, it's more about the matchup, about if we can line up a sponsor for it, things like that.
Okay.
So,
I get it.
Logan Van Sant wants to play the Titans now. So.
I mean, they're 3-6. I don't think Missouri would win that, but it'd be a little competitive.
Take your shot, man. If they're from Tennessee, you never know. So, hey, appreciate you guys hanging out with us here. Like I said, we're gonna there's a basketball game tomorrow night, playoff rankings Tuesday. We're gonna do a football show Wednesday, basketball Thursday. Drew King's going up to Minneapolis to cover Mizzou basketball in Minnesota on Thursday. Football Saturday. So another just crazy week. We're going to be on here 3 or 4 times. We're going to have tons of stuff on the site. Sean Williams already been tracking down recruits that were in the house yesterday. So all kinds of stuff. Appreciate you guys being here. Do me a couple things before you leave. First of all, again, the information has been going across the bottom of the screen. It's been in bright yellow. Hopefully you've seen it, but get in touch with our guy, James Carlton with State Farm Insurance in Webster Groves, Missouri, carltoninsurance.net. 314-961-4800. James wants to be your insurance agent. He wants to cut you a good deal. He wants to talk to you about Mizzou's NIL efforts. By the way, Jarod, did you see the tweet that Tennessee was eating Emo's Pizza as their post-game meal yesterday?
It could never be me. You can't beat me up.
I just like the idea that they are eating the company that actually sponsors Brady Cook and Luther Burden.
Yeah, you're not going to beat me up and then say, hey, Jarod, I got my mom making a nice home-cooked meal. You want some? Nah, I'd starve. Never.
There you go. Support Emo's Pizza. Support James Carlton, State Farm. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Do all those things on the YouTube channel. Appreciate it, guys. I'll throw the podcast up after this. We'll talk to you next time.